Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, and thank you for showing up in good time. We appreciate you. And we shall make this a short meeting. Maybe within an hour, we should be done. And the reason we are having this meeting is because you registered for training. Usually we do not call a webinar, but we had over 300 people who registered for this, and therefore it was important that we have this meeting so that you get to know what exactly you are getting into. And looking at the numbers that have shown up, you can clearly see that probably those are people who may have not been very serious. But let's hope that they are going to be joining us. So this particular session is to take you through what this training entails so that even as you sign up, you know that this is what it takes, and therefore it doesn't take you by surprise. So my name is Susan Maua, and I'm going to be your facilitator for a section of this sensitization. And when we come to demos, then I'm also going to have some of my colleagues also helping to do this. Okay, so this training is called Universal Prevention Curriculum Core Implementer Series. When it mentions series, then it means that there are a number of trainings other than this. This is the foundational course. So core is the introduction to the Universal Prevention Curriculum Series. It also shows implementers series because we also have a coordinator series. So the coordinator series is for a different group of people, but this one is targeting those who are implementers. And that is why in our poster, we indicated if you work with families or schools or workplaces, so that it is very specific in terms of where you work. So it is targeting those who are doing something in prevention in the field. So I will briefly take you through what it entails. And so in this agenda, we are going to talk about the training in brief. We'll also talk about the training requirements. Then we are going to do a demo on the Zoom platform, which will be what will be used. And then you will also have an opportunity to ask questions. But in the meantime, if you also have questions, then you can use the chat. We have the chat and we also have the question and answer section, so that if you have any queries, you can write at that point. If you also know some of the people, because some of the people who registered were coming from the same organization, you could also notify those who read their emails 1 week later. All right, so what is the objectives of this training? Last year, NACADA developed the national guidelines for alcohol and drug use prevention. And so we are operationalizing those things because it shows that we are moving from single event activities where we use our eyes and look at what is happening in the community and we decide there's a big problem in the community. And so we now have the national standards or guidelines on alcohol and drug use prevention. So This is a foundational course, and that means that we are going to have other courses beyond this one. And it is aimed at building capacity of those who work in prevention. And we are moving towards implementation of evidence-informed programs. So during the training, then you get to know what are evidence-informed programs. The purpose of this training series is also to professionalize the field of prevention practice in Kenya. We have had many people who say that they are doing prevention, and there are people who combine both prevention and treatment, but we'd want to have people specialize so that if you are in treatment, then you remain in treatment. Because NACADA has been offering the basic universal treatment curriculum, but there are plans underway to offer the advanced courses. So if you are in treatment, then it would be preferable that you follow that line of drug demand reduction, because drug demand reduction has two areas. There is prevention and there is treatment. So we have courses for treatment which have been offered even in this country for a while. And now we are also moving towards professionalizing the field of prevention so that we do not have people who go out to the field and do harm to the recipients of your programs, because even in prevention, you can also cause harm. So those are the three objectives. We want to build capacity towards implementation of evidence-informed programs, and this is a foundational course. So if you take this foundational course, then it means you'll be able to build up onto the others. We also are working towards professionalizing the field of prevention and to operationalize the standards which are existing. So what does the core entail? So from now on, you will hear us talk about the core. It is the introduction to the Universal Prevention Curriculum series for implementers. And just to let you know that internationally now, we have curricula that has been developed to professionalize treatment and to professionalize prevention. So whichever country you are in, you will find the same curriculum is being used. And hence, the universal prevention curriculum. If you are doing treatment, then it is the universal treatment curriculum, meaning it is offered across of the world. So in this core, the first thing that we are going to do, it's a foundational basic knowledge and introductory skills. So it means that you are going to learn a little bit of some skills, basic knowledge, and it is also the foundation. So that means that by the time you finish this course, you cannot say that now you are a prevention professional. You are just beginning, okay? In this particular training for the core, we are going to look at the overview of science that underlies evidence-based prevention interventions and policies. So you are going to realize that prevention is also a science. It's not where you just stand in front of people and tell them drugs are bad. Everyone knows, including the ones who are using. They know that they are bad. And when they are hooked to it, it's even worse, because they even know the effects that it's going to have on them, but they will continue to use. So we are going to look at the overview of the science behind the evidence-based prevention interventions and policies. In this particular training, we are also going to look at introductory skills and competencies to engage in prevention practice in the primary context of where the services take place. You cannot work in all the settings unless you are from NACADA, because NACADA is the national authority for the campaign against alcohol and drug abuse. And so they have the role of multi-sectoral coordination, so that when they are looking at the issues of prevention, then it means that we are going to have officers that needs to be experts in all these areas. So if you are an implementer, you can be working in schools, you also work in families, you work with the community, you work in, it means that you are probably doing a one-size-fits-all, which is not evidence-informed. So in this particular training, we are going to look at the introductory skills and competencies that you require if you are going to engage in prevention practice. So it means that once we have done these introductory skills, we are going to get into a point where now we will move to specializations. So that if you are working with schools, for example, we have particular trainings that target the schools. If you're working with families, that's a different area. If you are doing in the workplace, and some of you who are already doing workplace programs, I saw had also signed up. But we also have those ones who, those are the formal settings. We also have the informal workplaces. So that's a different program. If you are working in the community-wide setting, where you would probably say the general public, although we don't have people called the general public. So if you are working in what, for now, we are going to accept that you call it the general public, again, you are going to find that the kind of programs you do there are different. So we don't have a one-size-fits-all for all programs. So this is the core of what we are going to do in this introduction series. These are the topics that are going to be covered. And you can see there are 10 modules to be done in 10 weeks. So for us to do it in 10 weeks, it means that we are pacing out. We are pacing out so that you will undertake one course per week. Other times we do it more intensive where we have 2 per week, and it is also very stressful. So that is why we have staggered that you have 1 course per week. So we are going to look at the training introduction, which is going to be the first topic to be covered. We are going to look at physiology and pharmacology for prevention professionals. And that is basically what drugs are about. So if you have been talking about drugs and what drugs are and the effects of drugs, this is the module where we shall talk about what drugs are and its effects, and why do people continue to use drugs, even though they know that it is problematic. The next one is going to be on critical themes of the UPC series for practitioners. As a practitioner, what are some of the things that we need to, what are the underlying themes? The fourth one, in the 4th week, we will talk about the prevention science. What does this mean? And what are the guiding principles here? In module 5, we have the critical theories in prevention, because when we talk of a science, there's always a theory behind it. That is why one size fits all does not work in prevention. It is according to the area that you are working in. So when we talk about theories, when you implement a program. What do you want to see? What is the program aimed at doing? So there are theories behind prevention. And we are going to, I know people do not like theories, but we are going to make it possible for you to learn and get the gist of it. So we are going to make it as user-friendly as possible. Then we have module 6 that is going to look at the evidence-based prevention interventions and policies. When we talk of evidence-based, what does this really mean? And what are some of the interventions? And even what you are doing now, how can you, even do some kind of monitoring so that you are able to see if what you do works or it doesn't work. And then number 7, on the 7th week, it is implementation cycle for prevention professionals. What does implementation mean in the field of prevention? So we shall also look at that. We shall look at the skills and competencies for prevention professionals, because you realize that you do not just wake up and say, I do prevention. That is why you may cause harm without knowing. In the 9th week, we shall look at the code of ethics for prevention professionals. And then finally, we shall finish with application to practice. That which you have learned, how are you going to put it into practice? So those are the topics that are going to be covered. And so for them to be covered, you will see, because if it is online, if it was in person, it would take you 8 days to complete. So we are talking of 8 to 5 for 8 days. But if you are going to do it virtually, as we are going to do, then you can see that you need to do pre-session assignment. So for every session, we will give you an assignment, and we are going to show how these assignments look like. Pre-session assignment in preparation for the live session, because the live session is only 2 hours and once a week. So this live session, you needed to have done the assignment. And it is when you do the assignment that you actually come to class. Without it, you cannot come to class, because you will not be able to even get what we are talking about. So that is the course components. Pre-session, you do and submit 2 days before the live session, because your instructor needs to see what you have done so that it helps to inform the sessions that we are going to have. So what is the course duration? As you can see, it is going to be 10 weeks. November is almost coming to a close, so we are going to have 1 session in November. We shall have 2 sessions in December. That is the first 2 weeks of December. And then in January, we resume in January. We take a break and resume in January, so that we have the 4 sessions, and then we finish in February with the 3 sessions. So those are the 10 weeks. In registration, we had asked you your preferred time, and it was a weekday, in the day, or in the evening. There was also the option of weekend, but most people were following within the weekday. So now we are indicating that the trainings will be done on Wednesdays. In the day, 10 a.m. to 12 noon. And if you're taking the evening class, then it is from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. So those are the 2 options. So if you're here and you had put weekend, you may need to adjust. And considering that the big number of people who signed up have also not shown up, it means that the ones who are here are going to be the first ones to start the training. So those will be the timing. So right now, we do not have the weekend because of the small numbers that signed up for it. What will be the training requirements? What is it that you need to do? Because we said we are not charging. We are not charging for this training. So what are the requirements? So for you to qualify so that we can give you a certificate, you need to complete all evaluations. And evaluations here is the pre-test. So it means that after this, for those who signed up and have also turned up for this particular sensitization, please indicate on the chart which one you'd want to take. Just taking you back here. Indicate whether you want to take the Wednesday, 10 a.m. to 12 noon, or Wednesday, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. So that will help us to know where we can place you. I know at application you indicated, but now we are getting to the ground. Where would you want to be? On Wednesday, 10 a.m. to 12 noon? Just use the chat. Those who are carrying up your hands, we will give you time at question and answer time. So I have colleagues who are working on the chat. So if you have questions, they will be responded to there. So you don't need to carry up your hand now. So we have Wednesday. If you have questions, just put them down. Either use the chat or we will give you time to carry up your hand. So indicate on the chart whether you want to do Wednesday, 10 a.m. to 12 noon, or Wednesday, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Because we shall begin with those who have attended this session and are ready to begin. All right, so I was saying that for you to qualify so that you get a certificate, you need to complete all evaluations. So before the training begins, we start with a pre-test. And the pre-test is to just, what is your knowledge level as you get into the training? So that is the purpose of the pre-test. When we finish at week 10 in February, we will also do a post-test so that we see, did the training have any impact on you, or it made your situation worse, or you just left the way you came? So that's why we do the post-test. And then we also have the training evaluation. So you need to complete all those evaluations for you to qualify. The other thing that you must do is to complete all the pre-session assignments. As you have seen, we only have 2 hours of the live session. So if you have only 2 hours, it means that you needed to have read a little bit what we have provided at your own time, and then we submit so that when we come to the online or the live sessions, then we have a fruitful engagement. The other thing that you must do is to attend the online sessions. And we are saying it is not your device. Presentism is when, if I look at the list of participants, you are there, but in terms of engagement, you turned on your device and went to do other things. So you must attend all online sessions, and we have a way of knowing if it is your device that is in attendance and not you. And then we also require active participation in the online sessions. Because if you are in-person training, you would be asking questions, you would be responding, you would be participating in activities that are there. And we have, these trainings are interactive. In as much as they are online, they are also quite interactive. So there is opportunity to ask questions, to hold discussions in small groups. We call them breakout rooms, so that you don't have your device going there and then you don't open your mouth. So you are voluntarily coming into the training, and therefore it should be to the best of your ability, just like we are also going to make the best use of your time. What is it that is also required? Computer literacy. We appreciate that we are all at different levels of our skills when it comes to use of computers or even your smartphone. Many Kenyans, or most Kenyans, have smartphones. So your smartphone can also just work as well. So we are talking about basic skills like downloading and uploading files. Actually, that is what we will be doing, because we will send you the pre-session homework. You should be able to download it. So once you have downloaded it and you have read and you have responded, you should be able to upload it again, so that your instructor can see what you have done, so that if there are any questions, or it will help to guide what we are going to have in the live sessions. You need to have skills of joining a virtual meeting like this. Yeah, I can see people are carrying up their hands. The numbers in the chat are going up. It means that already you have the skills, some of the skills that are required. And then the skill of communicating with other learners in the discussion threads, so that as others are asking questions or they are giving comments, you are able to. When we get to breakout rooms, it means that you should be able to participate. So those are the basic skills that you require for participating in this training. You also need to have a high resilience. I know it is common that we experience challenges which are beyond our control. For example, there is no power, poor internet connectivity, your laptop decides it is not waking up anymore. Maybe it is raining. Yeah, it is raining, and therefore, especially during the rainy season, sometimes the noise from the roof is such that you cannot attend or you cannot be heard. So those are things which are beyond your control. But you need to develop a contingency plan. Yeah, like having backup, like ensuring if you're using your smartphone, ensuring that on the day that you have your class, that your battery is full, so that it can run you for the 2 hours. If you are using a laptop, ensure that your battery is full, so that even if power goes off, you will still be able to attend. You top up your data, because the data that you are using is your contribution, because we are otherwise offering this training for free. So your contribution is the data that you are using. And when you finish, we shall also give you a certificate. So that is our contribution. On your end, top up your data so that you don't run out of it. And as you're working, you also save your homework assignments so that you submit them. It's not where you say, oh, you know, I had done the assignment. In fact, I had put it, it's just that I forgot to click send. You see, that doesn't help. So because you are voluntarily coming into the training, then we also expect that you need to develop a contingency plan so that you are able to effectively cover the course. Remember, this is foundational. Once you have finished this, then it means it will give you an opportunity to join other courses that we will be offering. You will not be able to join the other courses if you have not completed this particular one. So high resilience is required. And again, not where you say, oh, you know what? No, I can't hear you, it is my connectivity, but that is because you are doing other things. Then set goals. We are going to be in this for 10 weeks, and that is why we have called this meeting, so that you know what is it that, what are you getting yourself into? So you need to set realistic goals and have expectations. Yeah. What is it that you want out of this training? Is it just a certificate? Because we are saying that for you to get a certificate, these are some of the things that you must do. So what is it that you want to? It needs to be a SMART goal. What is your training expectation right from the outset, so that you remain on track? I know some of the courses that we have been offering, especially for workplace, you already provide this information and somebody then asks, kwani training inaisha lini? Yeah, because the person probably did not set the expectations, even though you have told them that this is the nature of the training. So for you, what are you committing? What is your expectation? How are you going to stay on track so that you are present throughout the 10 weeks that we are going to have this? How are you prioritizing this particular training? The other thing has to do with the netiquette. If you are going to be in a training like this, there are certain things that you need to do, like muting your microphone when you're not speaking, because then the background noise is kept at bay. And again, when your microphone is not muted, you could also be having other activities that create additional noise, like you've left it on and then you're shuffling papers, or you're calling somebody, or as you are in class, you are also making tea and stirring your tea. Yeah, so those are background noises that we are talking about. It is part of the good netiquette is that you actually, even if you're stirring your tea, all of us don't have to see. You can see, we are saying, we are not talking about cameras, but at some point we'll expect you to, you know, switch on your camera so that we can take photos. And we have seen sometimes when you have those online trainings, then you find somebody's walking about with their camera is on, but they are walking about, and therefore they distract others. So limit distractions for yourself so that you stay focused on the online session. You turn off notifications, you minimize any running apps, including muting your smartphone so that it does not distract you. And even if you're using your phone, because then you have pop-up messages that could be distracting you. Again, avoid multitasking. You will not be able, in fact, it has been established that even multitasking, people work serially. So by the time you are turning your attention to something else, it means that you are not participating in the online discussion. So this is not the time to do emails, the text, the WhatsApp messages, and so on. And then preparing in advance, because in some sections, especially like now, module 10, you will be expected to also present what is your action plan. Now that you've gone through the training, what is it that you want to do with the training? So you also prepare in advance. You read in advance. If there are questions you'd want to ask, you know, you write them down so that we are able to answer, and you can also be effectively engaged in the online sessions. So now we come to we want to demonstrate the tools that are provided, and I'm going to just show you some of the pre-session. When we talk of pre-session assignments, how does it look like? So I'm just going to show you how this looks like. Just a second. Okay, so I hope you can see my screen. So this is how a pre-session homework looks like. So you will receive something like this. Like I've told you, this is a universal program. So this is how it looks like. We welcome you to the online session. This is not, sorry, that's not what I intended to show. Okay, so this is how your session homework will look like. It is a self-paced module, meaning that when you receive it, you respond at your own time. So it tells you that everything that you are going to do is found within this. So it explains to you, like here it tells you what this is module 1. For every module, it will also show you what the module is about and what you are supposed to do. So you can see it is telling you that you need to put your name on it, on the upper left. It's only that I'm projecting, so I'm not able to show you, but to the left, you will be able to, as you save, you are able to put your name, Susan Maua, so that you can see this is Susan Maua's work. These slides are editable. Yes.
Sorry to interrupt. Did you mean to share your folder for module 1?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Some people are saying we cannot see. I think they are expecting something different.
Are you able to see this?
I see module 1 folder, and in it there's module 1 online session, module 1 participant manual, and the third.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I think I have too many things on my screen.
All right.
So are you now seeing the right one?
Yeah, I see core course, training introduction, welcome to self-paced module 1.
Okay.
PowerPoint slide.
Yes, let me just shut down. I think I have too many things open. Yeah, I need to close many of them. All right, I hope you can see the pre-session homework.
Yes, PowerPoint for module 1.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, so this, sorry for that. This is how your pre-session, the self-paced model will look like. So it means self-paced means you're doing it at your own pace and time. And so if you look at this one, it welcomes you. It tells you what you are going to do. If you look at the second paragraph, it tells you that you need to put your name on it because there are many participants. So you need to put your name on it. And so, and it is also editable. So you'll be able to put in your work inside. For those who are going to be in the training, we also open a WhatsApp so that if you have any questions and you have other issues, you can always use the WhatsApp. It gives you the learning objectives. It will also give you assigned readings. So in addition to this, you will also get an assigned reading, which you can see is the participant manual, page 25 to 35. So we have broken down. Every time you get your own self-paced materials, you will only find the participant manual for module 1. If it is module 2, you'll only get the content for module 2 and so on. So you will just read 25 to 35 as part of your preparation. I'm saying this because sometimes people get confused, and instead, because the participant manual is in PDF, somebody then converts this and starts writing on it. That is only for your reading. This is where you input your work. As you can see, it's showing you what you're supposed to do. So I'm going to show you some of the things that you would do. For example, here, substance use worldwide. So you will read the information about substance use worldwide. Then when you come to the next page, it is telling you, looking at our nation, Kenya, how does good health of its citizens impact your nation? Input your answer above. So this is the space where you are going to answer. So it is editable. That is what we mean by editable. This is where you write your answer, the space which is provided here. If you go to the next page, how is this health related to prevention programs and policies? Enter your answers in this space provided here. After the question, enter your answers there. So that is, so you keep reading and then you find spaces where you put in the answers. Once you finish, you save and put your name, and that is what you will send back to your instructor. So that is what we mean by the self-paced. So on the other hand, we have a participant manual. And I want to show how the participant manual looks like, because we have just cut so that you are only able to see the pages that you require for your reading. So this is how the participant manual looks like. It is in PDF. Kindly do not convert it so that you start writing on it, because it's a participant manual. It usually has spaces for you to write. So you see these spaces, don't go and convert and then start responding to these questions. It is your participant manual, and that's why we are saying you read from page 25, yeah? You start reading from page 25 to 35. So this is for you, not for you to convert and start responding on this. So I hope that is clear. So now I would want to give my colleague to demonstrate on the platform. So go ahead, Wayne.
Thank you, Susan. Good afternoon, everybody. I will be demonstrating just some basics on using Zoom, so I don't make any assumptions that we are all on the same level. Now, what the format we are using today for Zoom is different from the one we use in training, because this one is a webinar format. We usually use like a meeting format, and so the controls look different. Yeah, so allow me to upload my presentation that I can demo. I'm not able to do it live because we are using a different format at the moment. All right, so it will just take me a few seconds. Here we go. So there are a few key things. The fact that you are able to get in here means that you can already register and also open and start a Zoom meeting. So that's already progress. Huh? So I'll just look at a few things. The first one is how to join the Zoom meeting. Susan mentioned there are some steps before we get to joining the meeting. One is that you'll be sent for the pre-test. Then you will, once you finish that, you submit and we can see it on our end that it is complete. Second step is that you are going to receive your assignment for the first class. Once you submit that, then you get the link for class. This link is sent to you specifically because you have completed the other steps. It is not to be shared with others who might want to take a peek at the meeting or maybe did not complete their assignment and tell you, I didn't get the Zoom link, please share. The link is just for you. Anyone who doesn't receive it should contact the trainer. And the link comes in email. We usually require registration just for the first time. And it's the same link for every class. So we also don't send it out every week. You save it somewhere so that at class time, it's not, oh, please resend link. Where is the link for today's class? Huh? So it comes in your email. Join Zoom meeting, and there's the ID there. And usually if you just click on the link, it opens and it directs you to Zoom. And usually you will get this message. If you click OK, if you see the system. Huh? So you'll be prompted to either open the Zoom meeting using your web browser or download the Zoom application. It is recommended that you download Zoom, so you have Zoom as an app on your phone or your computer. That makes it easier, and the experience for training is also better than when you just open it as a browser link online. So please download it as an app, and then always keep it updated, because sometimes there are features that when we want to use can only work if your app is updated. So updating is very important. And the other thing is Zoom at a glance. Once you open and you're let into the class, you should be able to see a screen that looks like this with the main navigation bar. This one you need to get very, very familiar with because all the key things are here. For instance, you have mute. You have mute. Mute, usually we put that everyone should enter the meeting when they're already muted, or the live session when they are muted. Others, for some reason, immediately unmute, even though what they are saying is only relevant to the people in the room with them and not to the training session. So kindly always double check to make sure that as you're joining, you are muted. And Susan also mentioned about video, that you should keep your video off to reduce distractions. Then you'll find the participants. When you click on participants, it opens on a side panel like this one, listing all the people who are in attendance, showing when the mics are on, when the video is on, you can see all of them from there. So they'll be listed here depending on how many they are. And you can see there are also things down here that show when you want to raise your hand. If you ask a question, whether you say yes or no, you can tick. The shortcuts are here. There's a tick and there's an X. Yeah, you don't necessarily need to use go slower or go faster. That tends to be for recording. If the speed of the facilitator is slow, then you increase it and vice versa. Yeah. Okay, so that's the main navigation bar. That's important to keep track of. Then here, usually in this big blue part, which is what you might be seeing now, is the person who is speaking or the presenter or the presentation. And you can see their thumbnails here with people's pictures. This is where the participants are. So if you want to change and see a different view, you control that from up here on the right. You can have a speaker view. You can change so that you're seeing everybody who's talking, or you're seeing only the person who's presenting, or the biggest part of your screen is devoted to the presentation. That one is in your control. Now, sometimes people say, we can't hear you. I don't know what's wrong with my sound, or they think it's on the presenter side. So it's important, even with the camera, to be able to check your own. That's why it's good to have the app. Check into class early enough so that you don't miss the beginning, and you can do any sound checks or video checks to ensure you don't have a problem. So the first place you go is that part on the panel that I said that has mute. It has a microphone. You click on the arrow. When you click on that arrow that's pointing up, it gives you these options. It tells you to select a microphone and to select a speaker. So if you're just using your computer, you haven't added anything, you don't have any earpods, you don't have any headphones, then you just select, system. It will even have selected itself because that's the default. If on the other hand, you have a headset that you want to use or some other earpiece, then you make sure that your earpiece is selected there. Same thing for speaker. Do you want the sound to come out from your earpiece, or do you want it to come from your laptop or computer or device or other device? If you want it from your device, then you make sure you select device. If you want it from your speakers or your earpods, then you select that there. That makes sure that the sound is coming out and being delivered for using the method that you want it to be done. Yeah, so same thing. Video, you can click on video. You use the arrow as well. When you click on the arrow or hover over the arrow, it will present you options to select which camera do you want to use, the integrated camera that's in your device, or would you like to use a webcam or any other option for that one. So you select the one that is appropriate. And you can also go and learn how to tweak, so you can change your background or blind like mine if you don't want anything in your background to be distracting, or you don't want to be discovered where you are, then you blur your background. You can even put yourself on the beach. Sometimes you're in a training somewhere and you just have to step out, or it's just you're in a meeting, you want to step out for 2 hours, there's no very conducive room. So then you learn how to use different backgrounds that are not very distracting to others, and also still help you look professional. So those are things you can learn about on your own as you tweak and twiddle. All right, so training, where sometimes it's great to just liven things up. When you're in person, you can laugh. I can see you laughing. You can clap. You can do all these things. But online, I'm looking at your screen, and sometimes it feels like I'm talking to myself, especially if your video is not on. So these reactions just help to bring some animation to the training. So you can react at any point during training by using even a thumbs up, clapping, crying, or whatever other emotion may be relevant to what you are communicating in training. You just go there and you click. It doesn't interrupt anyone. It just shows up there. Everyone can see it, and it disappears in 5 seconds by itself. Yeah, so you just go to the same panel we were talking about. You can see there it is with a smiley on it for the reactions. You hover there and it will show you some quick options to use. So you can see there, it says you can use these reactions to show your appreciation for the presenter or content in the meeting, although they are not formal feedback. Yeah? All right, moving on. Something else that's essential to be able to do is raising your hand. There's a gentleman who's had his hand raised since the meeting started. I'm not sure if he's feeling tired now. But John had his hand up. Yeah, thankfully now it's down. which means he was sorted. So you can raise your hand at any point when you want to say something to get the attention of the trainer or the facilitator. And this you do by going to the participants. Usually it has like 2 heads. Victor, you're showing me that you can raise your hand. I saw you raise your hand very quickly and put it down. Yes, so when you raise your hand, other people can also see it. And you can see it will show up here on the participant panel on the side. Yeah, you open there and then you click raise hand. So then your hand goes up. And it's also important when your issue is done to place your hand down so that it doesn't feel like the issue has not been addressed. If it hasn't been, then it's okay. By all means, keep it up. Yes, so you can do that to raise your hand. That comes on the participant sidebar. And even there, when you go, you can be able to see who has their hand raised, or if someone had put a reaction, you can still see the reaction there, like the blue thumbs up that is here. Yeah. All right, so this raising hand is the one that is usually used for more feedback. Then we have what is breakout rooms. Susan mentioned this in her presentation. She said that sometimes in the training, you will be split into small groups. If we were in person, we'd say, all right, this group, come sit here, have a discussion. This other group, you're here. This is what we are discussing. And then we come back to the main group and share. So we do the same thing online using what is called breakout rooms. So the facilitator or the trainer creates the breakout rooms and will inform you how it is that you are put there, or if you're put there randomly. And then what happens is, as a participant, what you wait to see is this message here. The host is inviting you to join breakout room number 1. And then you need to click join. If you do not click join, you remain in some limbo place where you're not able to participate in the small group or in the breakout room, and you're also not in the main room. So you end up not gaining during the period of time when people are in breakout rooms. So it's essential to be alert and to follow the instructions so that when you are allowed to do it, then you can click join. Sometimes, though rarely, you will be asked to click on which one you want to join or select. Then you still get a prompt on your device and you have to take action as prompted. Then you see after you join the group, the instructions are given. And when it's done, there will be 1 minute warning comes on your screen sent by the facilitator. And then there will be a countdown for that whole minute until it gets to 0, and everybody automatically is taken back to the main session where now we can share what we did in the breakout rooms. So that would be an essential skill. Easier to practice when the time comes, but important to know that the possibility is there. If you need further clarification, when you are in your breakout room, because sometimes what happens is you're told the work on the screen is what you're going to do, then you don't take note of it, and when you go to the breakout room, the screen is blank. So you can always ask for help by clicking on the ask for help question mark, and then the facilitator will be alerted that you need some assistance, and they'll be able to come into your breakout room and assist as required. Yeah. And then of course, there's always the red pass, the section for leave the breakout room at any time, though of course it is preferred that you stay till the end of the activity. But if for some reason you require to leave, then you just click clear. That allows you to leave the breakout room without leaving the whole training. You go back to the main room. All right, winding up now. Susan mentioned that there will be times when you're required to share something. You might be sharing a presentation, you might be sharing a Word document or PDF, and the rest needs to see it. You can see, right now what I'm doing is I'm sharing my PowerPoint with you. So sometimes as a participant, you need to be able to do that. The facilitator allows multiple sharing, and that gives you the permission to share. So the most important thing, one is, Susan went through this, you always need to have what you're presenting open on your screen so that you don't start when someone says, all right, it's your turn to share, then you say, oh, okay, and then you start opening folders, trying to find your presentation. You need to be able to know It's on your desktop and ready. And then it cannot be minimized. If it's minimized, when you go to share, you won't see it. So you have to open it in the background. And then when you click on share, usually in green with the arrow pointing up, it will open a small window like this one you see here. And so what Susan was saying is she had very many things that were open, because here it shows you which windows you have open, which one would you like to share, and then you click, and the one you click is the one that opens. If you have sound or video, then it's important to also click those so that it can be seen, or if the experience is better for those who are watching. No? Someone can be watching and say there's no sound because you didn't click on this. So you click on those two and then you click share, and it opens. And then you're able to share with the others. Yeah. All right. Then the other thing that I've seen some people have challenges with is renaming themselves. So someone like here, we have someone who was called Anonymous, and then said you want to train from 10 to 12. I have no idea who Anonymous is. So I'm recording down and I don't know what I would put down. And so I had to type, please let me know what your names are, because you're written as Anonymous. Or if I'm looking at the participants, we get the participant list at the end. If your name is Infinix 2, yeah, we have no idea who that person is. And so it's important to know how to rename yourself. And there are two ways to do this. Like now we have someone in this training called Samsung SM. If you will allow me to work with you as an example, Samsung, I would like you to rename yourself. Now there are two options for renaming yourself. One is when you're joining Zoom, you can put your name here. So put your name so that you use the name that you've registered for the training. That helps us identify you as we are doing registration, and also as we are calling on people to participate, rather than calling you Samsung, Infinix, or other device, then we use your name, preferably not a nickname. Eh? So you put it there and you click join. And so when you show up, like you have shown up today, I can see Sarah Lynn Wamita. I can see, sorry about that. I can see Shalon Mushira. I can see Victor Nduruchi, Alice Njagi, Boniface Odera, because you have named yourselves well. Now, Samsung, I would like you to change your name using these instructions. You go to participants. You click on participants on your panel. When you click on participants, it will bring you the participant panel on the side. Then you go to your name. When you go to your name, you hover over it and you click on more with an arrow pointing down, and then you select rename. When you select rename, it allows you to put in a new name. So please try and do that right now, just so we can see that it's an easy thing to do, even in the middle of training. If for some reason, you entered and you didn't check your name there and you want to change it. The trainer might also tell you, put your name and something like how you're feeling, or your favorite place in the world. So you put there, Wendy, Mauritius, and so that needs you to be able to go there to rename. All right. Let me see if he has been able to succeed, but that brings me to the end of my session on the demo, unless you have any questions regarding that. I don't see Samsung anymore, so I'm hoping it means I did not bully him to leave, but instead he managed to change his name. Oh, no, I still see Samsung. All right, that is it for the basics of Zoom. Any other things? Zoom has so many tutorials that they offer online for free. There's so much also that you can get on their website and on YouTube. So feel free to keep learning, because there's always something new or some way that you can learn to better yourself. Thank you so much for your attention. I'll take it back to Susan. I was able to deal with all the questions in the chat. The only one that I see pending now would be, I think I saw a question on, yes, can someone who hadn't registered join the training now? Other than that, everything has been responded to. So back to you, Susan. Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy, for taking us through that. I hope that is helpful. I also like that people have indicated, if you're here, please ensure that you've indicated what time you would want to, because for those who have already registered and are here, it means that from this point forward, you should be having your first session next week. So if you have not indicated your time, please don't practice what we said, presentism, where it is your device that is available, but yourself, you are nowhere to be seen. Okay, so as we wind up, I just want to bring to your attention what else is pending. So now that you have indicated the time, whether you are going to be in the morning session or in the evening session, once we finish, we will put the list together, and then we will then share with you the first thing, which is the pretest. And once you have done the pretest, then that is when you are going to receive the participant manual and the pre-session self-paced learning materials. All correspondence is going to be through the online training at nakada.go.ke. Maybe that is why some people have not joined this webinar today, because they have not seen. It may have gone to spam, it may have gone to promotions, but it is somewhere within your mail. So just like I'm saying that at the latest will be Wednesday, you shall have received the pretest, and once you receive the pretest, then you are going to get your participant manual and pre-session for module 1. Your trainers, you will get to know your trainers once we have put the groups together. They will also form a WhatsApp group for ease of passing information. It is not where you submit your test. Yeah, it's not where on the day of the training, that is when you submit your assignment. That is not the purpose of the WhatsApp group. It's just to let you know the classroom is now open. Or if somebody is asking a question, that is the purpose of the WhatsApp group. So now this is your turn to ask questions. So those who are itching to carry up their hands, this is the time. So if you have any questions which have not been dealt with, this is the point to ask.
Sylvia is pointing out that we have not responded to the question asked by Eliud. Can someone who hadn't registered join the training now? I sense that the link for today may have been shared with people who had not registered. I'm not sure if that's what we are dealing with here, because as far as I knew, everyone here has registered that they are interested in the training, which is why we had this webinar, so we can let everybody know terms and conditions before they agree to move forward.
Okay, all right. So who are those? So if there is one such person on this link, at least it shows your interest. Indicate there, indicate on the chat that I am one such person. Yeah, not the ones who are still out there trying to figure out. So we shall deal with the ones who have already submitted. And if you are on this call right now, even though you got the link and you had not registered, but you are here, indicate on the chat your name, and then we will reach out to you.
The other question I've seen 2 or 3 times is if I choose 10 to 12, but then today something happened and I wasn't able to, can I join the 6 o'clock meeting?
All right. You want to answer that, Wendy?
Well, I answered the 2 individuals directly. In case it was on someone else's mind, I can just clarify that each group is different. You have a different trainer, There's a different dynamic going on, a different WhatsApp group. So it may not be suitable for you to just jump in from one to another. And you see, it is the trainer who also marks or looks through your pre-session assignment. So that brings in complications, jumping into another class that you are not a part of.
All right, so I don't see any hands up. So that means that the questions have been answered. And thank you so much, everyone. If you don't have any questions, but use the chat because we have a recording on that, and it is where we shall extract the names of those who are present and those who. George, you want to say something? Yes, George, go ahead. Please unmute. George, you are not speaking. You are actually muted. So unmute yourself and speak.
And
You've muted yourself again.
what about now?
Yes, now we can hear you.
So I got into the meeting late.
Mm-hmm.
I did not get the preliminaries of the meeting. Is there any way that I can get the preliminaries of the meeting? I've actually joined late.
So what do you want? A recording?
Please.
All right. So yes, it is recorded. So you will be able to get a recording now that you have requested.
Yeah.
All right.
How do I get my record?
Now put your hand down, George. Put your hand, George. You've said we shall reach you. You must be having
recording.
an email. Now you see you have other people who now want to solve. Boniface, you also want to say something? George, mute yourself. You will get it via email. Okay, I don't see any other hand. We wanted to keep this 1 hour. So what is the way forward? These are some of the things. So like I said, we shall send you information note. Just what we have talked about here, and the guidance it provides is what to expect throughout the training. So we are going to give you the information note. That will be sent first, and then the next thing is the pre-test exam. And like I said, completion of this pre-test is what allows you to get the pre-session homework. So if the first training is going to be Wednesday next week, it means that the latest you should be submitting your work is Monday next week, right? So that it gives both you and your instructor time to be able to do that. So once you have done the pre-test exam, that's the next thing that you're going to do is to get your pre-session homework. So the completion of the pre-session homework is what allows you to receive the Zoom link for session 1. And once you get the Zoom link for session 1, then you will be able to attend the live session, which is going to be on Wednesday, depending on what time you have selected. And I want to say that if you do not do your assignment, even if somebody else shares with you the Zoom link, you will still not be able to get in. Remember, we have the waiting room. So I'll just keep you in the waiting room. If you have not done your assignment, you will not be able to come to class. In any case, what are you coming to talk about? You have no idea. Just like, sorry to use George as the example, George came in late. So he didn't know what we said before. So can you imagine George has not done his pre-session homework? you will be coming in and not knowing what is being discussed. So this is the way forward. Once we finish this particular forum, we will put together the names of those who have attended. We are going to send you the information note. Once you have accepted receiving, then we will send you the pre-test exam and we move forward that way. So I hope there are no other questions with regard to that. So thank you so much. Yes.
Sorry, I've seen Sylvia and Eric asking, how do they make up for a lost session in the event? Work life happens and they miss a session, a live session. What happens?
Please don't preempt the event. In the event, we shall deal with it then. But basically, we don't send people recordings that you missed so that we send you a recording. So that is not what we do, if that is what you are asking. So if you are going to miss a session, let's deal with it when you get there. But don't plan to miss a session so that you will get a recording. Yeah.
Boniface Odera is asking, will you send the chat link? I am not sure what Boniface means. So if you're still here, Boniface, maybe you can raise your hand and clarify. I'm not sure what link you are referring to. Other than that, yes, everything is answered, is responded to.
Okay, so thank you everyone for attending this particular webinar. I hope you are now apprised so that you are ready and know what you're getting yourself into. So that if you look ahead and see that there is only a long tunnel which is dark, it is also the point at which you can say bye-bye. But we don't want that. And as we finish, we have a toll-free line so that anyone who needs to speak to someone about alcohol and drug abuse can call our toll-free line. Okay, so if we do not have anything, thank you everybody. And you will get to know who your instructors are because they will get back to you after this. That brings us to the end, and have a good evening. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Oh, should have asked the...
I was just about to ask you if you were staying behind, but are they still on? I see Jacob. Oh, Teresa seems to have gone.
I think we'll just even have a WhatsApp meeting.
Sawa.
WhatsApp call, yes.
All right.
Now whose hand is up?
Mine.
Okay, all right. Okay, bye everyone.
Sending you the list of timings shortly.